Hi, Dr. Mithali,
I
and talking about our topic today about dandruff.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know, so now that you've been working for all these years, how common is dandruff, and how many patients do you see, complaining about dandruff, or who even come to you talking about their concerns?
Yeah, so see, dandruff is a very common scalp condition. It's basically a flaky scalp. Okay, it can be associated with itching, hair loss. Patients generally notice dandruff when they are combing their hairs. They see the white flakes on the scalp. Sometimes it falls on the your clothes, so it creates a kind of not so good appearance. Sometimes it presents as blind bumps on your forehead. So these are the common presentations of dandruff. But dandruff affects more than half of the world population, irrespective of the gender or their ethnicities. So, almost every individual once in their lifetime must have suffered from dandruff. So, it's a very common condition presenting to us as trichologists.
Definitely, and I think everybody around me, including myself, we've all faced dandruff,
Yeah.
and definitely it's increasing at an alarming rate now.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people, in fact, they even ask me as well. I'm sure they'll ask you. So, what are the most common causes of dandruff?
So there are multiple causes of the dandruff. Okay, very difficult to pinpoint to one, but most common of the top three four reasons which are responsible for dandruff. So first one is mainly excessive secretion by sebaceous gland, and by sebaceous glands I mean the oil secretion. Okay, the oil secreting gland. So there is excessive oil secretion in the scalp. Now this can occur due to multiple reasons. First and foremost, genetic makeup. Like inherently, your glands are producing more oil. Okay, sometimes because of the hormonal changes, like in puberty you get acne, right, because of the hormonal changes. Similar way, because of the hormonal changes, the scalp glands would start secreting more oil, so that can in turn lead to dandruff. Now if you have an oily scalp and you are staying in like India, where the weather is already very hot and humid here, in that cases also if there is excessive oiling, so it will cause occlusion, and then it can lead to dandruff. So excessive oiling can also lead to dandruff. So that is one of like which is very much in our Indian culture to oil the hair every day. So if you are staying in a hot and humid weather, what we suggest is only 3 to 4 hours before your hair bath oiling is enough. If you do excessive oiling, it can lead to dandruff. Now, the next common cause is fungal overgrowth. So, there is a fungal known as of Malassezia species which can overgrow on your scalp, and that can lead to dandruff. Now, the causes of fungal hair overgrowth could be one, either if there is no proper hygiene maintenance, like if there is no regular washing of your hair. We have a habit in our day-to-day busy life that we just wash our hairs, especially women. They will tie up the damp hair and leave for their work. But that damp environment creates like a very good growth culture for fungus, so that can in turn lead to dandruff. Other than that, if there is any sharing of hair accessories like your comb, hats, clips, that can also lead to dandruff. So this all things can contribute to fungal overgrowth. Sometimes the fungal growth is fine, but you develop an immune reaction to the normal fungus present on your scalp. So there is like here component of immunity which plays. So the treatment line differs then. This is also one of the causes of dandruff. So here that these are multiple causes. Then other than that, hygiene maintenance, obviously if there's not regular washing. So the dead cells, skin cells will accumulate on your scalp and then they will present as dandruff. So these are multiple causes of the dandruff.
So, of course, these are very common causes as you mentioned. So, if I were to tell people, what are the, top three ways to prevent this dandruff from happening, what would you suggest?
So the top three ways to prevent dandruff from happening. One is you should have regular scalp washing, at least 3 times a week. Okay. So many a times because of a busy schedule, we wash once a week or twice a week. But that really leads to accumulation of dead cells, as I already mentioned, and that leads to dandruff. So yeah. Then second common thing is you can use anti. If you have a tendency to form dandruff frequently, then you can incorporate an anti-dandruff shampoo in your routine once a week at least. So that can like everyday usage if you don't have dandruff is not recommended. But if you have a tendency for dandruff, then yes, once a week in your hair washing schedule, you can incorporate an anti-dandruff shampoo. Third, avoid use of irritant products, like a lot of because of the OTC advertisements, people use onion oils, garlic on their hair, but these are all actually scalp irritants, and they will irritate your oil producing gland, and that will lead to more oil secretion and more dandruff. So all the irritant products should be avoided. So for that example, even if you have a dry scalp, like understand the type of scalp. If you have a dry scalp and you use a shampoos which contains like salicylic acid or any harsh chemicals, that will in turn lead to more dandruff production because your scalp is getting irritated. So avoid irritant products on your scalp. That will help in preventing the dandruff.
Right. So, thank you so much for sharing that. And say if we were to take any home remedies, just for the maintenance,
Yeah.
what would you suggest?
So, see, now the home remedies, we have yogurt. Okay, it's a very common remedy which has been passed in our household, that application of yogurt helps with the dandruff, and to a certain extent, yes, it does. But if you have an oily scalp and then you have the dandruff, then yes, it will help because it contains lactic acid again, which will act like an exfoliant. So it will help in reduction of the scales which are produced. So once in a while, yogurt application should help, but in spite of application, if it is not going, or if you're getting more itching with the yogurt application, then you should visit your dermatologist.
Yes, and just one last question. So about the dandruff, when do you think dandruff is a lot of dandruff? Like sometimes I've heard like people even when they just shake their head, they have some some dandruff falling out,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's all over their clothes. So when do you think is that alarming rate when you should actually now just rush to your doctor or your doormat and get this treated?
Yeah, okay. So if the dandruff is associated with lot of itching, okay, which means that there is an underlying inflammatory process going on, then you should rush to your dermat. If the dandruff is in very, like you wash your hair and in spite of washing the hair, you do get excess dandruff on your clothes or in your comb, then you have to rush to the dermat. But like let's say you washed your hair 2 days and 3-4 days later you find some white flakes, so that is normal, that is you need a regular washing, so then you don't. But like, if you are washing and immediately you are getting lots of dandruff in your clothes and all, then you need to rush to your dermat. If while picking out the scales you notice some amount of bleeding over there, or if you notice a rash along the border of your scalp, some redness, some rash along the border of your scalp, then it's not dandruff, it's probably seborrheic dermatitis or scalp psoriasis, some severe condition. In that case, yes, you need to visit your dermat soon. If you have been using your OTC shampoos, like there are a lot of shampoos available on the over the counter in the market for dandruff. So you get some dandruff, you purchase the shampoos, and you feel ki it's not working for you after 2 to 3 weeks of usage, then you can visit your dermat.
So now just one last thing. So is this a myth or a fact that in winters
Yeah.
you get a lot of dandruff, or like what is this? Like in winters?
Yeah, in winters, I agree the weather is more cooler, but you still get a dandruff. Now that dandruff is because of the scalp dryness. Okay, so people with dry scalp will get a lot of dandruff in winter. So in that case, you will need to use more of hydrating shampoos, more of softening shampoos, which will help to keep your scalp skin moisturized. You need to use some scalp moisturizers so that dandruff will be under check.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing all the causes and the prevention, doctor. And I really think people will be enlightened to know so much about this. Thank you so much.
Yeah.